The Agenda is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service, moving forward.
Good evening, Delaware, and welcome to The Agenda. Tonight, we will have a conversation that speaks to the heart of what it means to challenge the norms. In a place where the political lines seem all but etched in stone, our guest, Brenda Mennella, a Republican candidate, in a state that doesn't have a large Republican presence, is here tonight to share why she believes Delaware is ready for a change, ready for a different vision, and ready to consider something beyond the usual suspects. We're not here to push an agenda. We're here to uncover it. And as we dig into her policies, her principles, and the future she envisions, I invite you to listen carefully, because in an era of sound bites and talking points, tonight we're here to get to the substance. This is The Agenda, and we're glad you're here. So please, I invite you to be a part of the conversation. Ms. Mennella, welcome to The Agenda.
Thank you for having me, Kerwin.
We appreciate you being here. Want to get some information out about you. You're a first-time guest here to The Agenda. You're running for Mike Ramone's seat in the Pike Creek area.
Yes.
And this election has been very, very busy for all candidates, and I know that you are no exception.
That's true. Very, very busy.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm sure everybody would love to know. I know you've knocked on a lot of doors here over the past few months, but there are still some folks out there that may not know who you are.
Okay. Well, my name is Brenda Mennella, and I am a native Delawarean, born and raised here. I am actually from Sussex County, and I moved to Newcastle County in 1990, and I've been here ever since. Currently, I'm working as a teacher. I've been working as a teacher for the past 16 years here in Newcastle County, and I decided to run for office because Delaware does need a change.
Mm-hmm. I'm in agreement with that. I believe that we do need a change, but we need a really good change, right? We need something that we have, Ms. Mennella, we have so many issues.
Yes.
Right? And you mentioned that you were a teacher.
Yes.
And in a very difficult district is Christina, I
Yes.
believe. And there's a lot of change that's needed in education. Is that something that you're running strongly on? Is that, the change that you'd like to see?
That's the area that I feel that if we can make major changes in education, it will also help in the other areas of Delaware. And one, for example, is crime. If we can fix some of the problems that we have with the education, it will solve some of the crime problems that we have. And it can also solve some of the economic problems that we have. It's one of those problems that will spill into every area, and it has.
And it has. And I've made it clear to the candidates during the debate that we've had earlier this week. I've made it clear to candidates when they're right here on the agenda that the Department of Education needs reform itself, change, overhaul, whatever the politically correct way is to say it. There's a problem in Dover, and I think that a lot of it stems from there, not necessarily of the information that they're putting out, but just from an overall lack of oversight and understanding of what the true problems are. I need for a Department of Education to be fully engaged into what the issues are. And when I believe we're fifth in the nation, at the bottom of the nation in regards to education, I think it's easy to say that there's a disconnect there. Mm-hmm. I am optimistic that through the election, one way or another, because of the amount of light that we've placed on it, that there is going to be change. But I need for the candidates to truly engage on education. So tell me, how are you going to truly engage if elected in Dover?
Well, the first thing that we need to do is take a look at the education system that we have here in Delaware. At one time, we were ranking pretty high in the country. Mm-hmm. That was a good time. And people moved across the country and they weren't afraid to move to Delaware and enter their students in the school system. But now many people are bypassing Delaware. They're coming, they're looking and researching and deciding not to even move to Delaware because of how poorly the education system is right now. What I would like to do is to set up or work along with different committees to investigate, like a task force, to see where the areas are that need to be fixed, and see which schools in Delaware or which districts in Delaware aren't doing so bad and see what they're doing. We have so many different districts here in Delaware, different curriculums, different everything, that we really do need to take a look, a very, very serious look, because if we don't, we're just going to ruin this generation.
I don't believe that I don't believe that we should say anything poor about generations to come, but I do believe that they have some work to do. I believe that we're not going to get the results that we've all hoped for, and we have ourselves to blame for it. That's a whole nother topic. I don't want to take up your time here with that, but I can go on about education in Delaware for a long time. There may be some misconceptions about you. There have been some mailers that you believe have gone out and have spoken incorrectly about who you are.
True.
And this is your time to kind of fix that. So tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I believe that we should follow the Constitution, the Delaware Constitution, that if things need to be changed in Delaware, that we need to do things constitutionally. So I do support our Constitution, the Delaware and the United States Constitution. And I believe that we have the Second Amendment for a purpose, that we have a right to protect ourselves, to protect our family, and to protect our property. But that doesn't mean that I feel that children, that I was kind of like blamed for mass murders and things through the country. I have nothing to do with that. I don't support anything like that, and I don't appreciate literature being put out that I support that kind of I'm an extremist when it comes to the Second Amendment. That's just not true. Things have been sent out that I don't care about children. I'm like, I've been teaching for 16 years plus. I love children. Never hurt a child in my life. I'm in a field where I'm with children all the time. I teach, I love it. And to have literature put out that I don't care about children, I don't care anything about the senior citizens, and that's not true. There's so many things said about me, I have no idea where they came from. They are absolutely not true.
So when we're talking about rights, what is your feeling and your stance in regards to reproductive rights for women?
Well, that's pretty much been said and done earlier this year. I really haven't had anything to say about it. It's not on the ballot. It's not on my website. And when I was out knocking on thousands of doors, no one talked about it.
So right now on the agenda, do you feel as though reproductive rights are essential for women and that the legislation should not be currently changed?
Do I feel it should be changed or not?
Or not changed?
Okay.
Do you agree with it?
I agree that it was voted on here. It was sent from the federal back to the states, and people voted on what they wanted.
Okay. So trying to get a sense and an idea of what you support and believe, you've mentioned that, and I too am a gun owner and a gun supporter. I understand, I believe it is all of our rights through the Second Amendment to carry a firearm and to purchase one legally here in the state of Delaware. But how do you feel about those rights and securing those rights? At what lengths would you go in order to secure those rights for Delawareans?
I want to make sure that people that have firearms or want to purchase firearms, that they are mentally well and that they should pass the background checks. I also feel that they should pass background checks not periodically, but things change in people's lives, situations change, and sometimes those situations can affect people in a negative way. So I think just one background check is not enough forever, that maybe every 5 years, 3 years, or whatever the case is. But I do believe that they should pass background checks.
Okay. When it comes to economics here in the state of Delaware, we're fortunate enough to live in a state currently that has a surplus. Delaware has a surplus. So the incoming administration has a little bit of breathing room in regards to finances. It only takes one situation, you know what I mean, to change things. But one of the large drivers that some Delawareans don't understand is that our representatives are business developers, right? They ensure that small businesses getting what they need, that they have legislation passed that supports small business. We're also here to solicit larger businesses to come to this area with several factors. How do you plan? What is your idea? What is your perfect picture of how you would support that here in Delaware?
The first thing I would like to do is to take a look at some of the concerns that people have about being overregulated, because a lot of businesses are failing because of too many regulations or just too many rules and things like that they can't really get up off their feet. So I would take a look at all the regulations and look at what has been talked about in legislature. A lot of business owners do contact legislators. Just take a look at it, not just, have it come in and out. Just take a look and see if those points are valid and review those regulations.
Right. When we're soliciting businesses in Delaware, how would you go about that? How would you bring more business into Delaware?
That's a tough question.
I mean, it's hard, I know, to be a freshman, so to speak, representative, but the large part of what we do is, or what they do, is helping to bring business into Delaware, supporting it, like you said, the tax structure over regulation, but also going out there and being a talking point, a salesperson, so to speak, for the state. It's something that we need. Our state has not grown dramatically in the past 22 years in regards to economic growth. Our footprint is still the same. It's actually shrinking. There has to be legislation in place to help grow this. There is some, but it's obviously ineffective if we're not growing. I believe that Delawareans are looking for leadership in Dover to support that and to keep that at the forefront of their mind in regards to growing the state. So we hope that if elected and you get down to Dover, you really grab that by the horns and bring that to Delaware.
I would. In fact, I worked for the Department of Labor years ago, and we were always trying to bring business here to Delaware. New companies, they used our facilities for interviewing and all of that, and that's something that we needed to take a look at to help Delaware grow. And like you said, nothing's really changed for years. We have to make a change. A change has to happen, or we're going to continue down the same path.
Let's take a look and think about if elected, your first 100 days into office. What would be some of the things that you would do that you would hit the ground running?
One of the first things I would do is work on education. I would like to find out what the real problems are. And I have talked with someone from the Cesar Rodney Institute who can put together what we call the BOLD plan.
Tell us a little bit more about the BOLD plan.
Well, the BOLD plan was created by Ron Russo, and he's part of the Cesar Rodney Institute. And the BOLD plan is basically shifting from having the district and all of the board members and all of that at the top and shifting it to the bottom so that the principals and the local staff would be running the schools instead of someone up top from some other place running everything, that it would be run by the administrators right in the schools.
So you believe that the BOLD plan is taking people that are right there on the ground and making the decisions rather than policymakers from, say, the Board of Education,
Yes.
top high, that don't know exactly what's going on in there in the schools and making those decisions.
Making those decisions because they're there.
So when it comes, what else would you like to accomplish in your first 100 days?
I would like to take a look at the crime rate in Delaware and see where we can improve that, help reduce crime, look at some of the things that have been passed, some of the things that need to happen in Delaware.
So when it comes to crime, are you thinking more police? Are you thinking less police, more legislation? What are your thoughts on that?
I think we don't have enough police, and they're recruiting very hard trying to get police. I mean, we all need police to help us. I'm not one of those people that want to defund the police at all. But we need to take a look at some of the crimes that are being committed, some of the areas where the crime is being committed, and look at some of the, like you said, the policies and see if we can make a difference there.
Right, right. How do you think you'll bring Dover together, right? So it's hard down there, right? It's very hard to get things passed. You have to work together as a team. You have to go on both sides of the aisles. Do you think that'll be a problem for you?
It won't be a problem for me. At this time, it's kind of unbalanced, and I'm hoping that it will become more balanced because we have to represent everybody. We cannot represent just one group of people. And I'm easy to work with, and I'm very open, and I wouldn't mind working with people from the other party. We are Delawareans, and we have to work together.
Yeah. So are you committed to this?
Yes.
It is definitely something that you're 100% behind, and you are ready to hit the ground running if elected in January.
Yes.
What are some of the fears that you have in regards to this position?
What are some of my fears? I think the greatest fear is maybe working with people that don't want to be worked with. I've thought about that. I mean, you cannot make somebody work with you. And I see that we have two parties, but I want to see us working together as a whole to make a difference.
So establishing party unity?
Yes.
And
Yes.
just unity as a whole and representation in the state. I think that's really important. What is it that some folks out there may not know about you that you want them to know?
Well, most people know that I'm a very caring person, and I'm a very, very honest person. In fact, this is my second time running. 2 years ago, I ran for state senate, for Senatorial District 9. And I was told by several people, you'll never get in office because you're too honest. And that was kind of a shock because I thought you should be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what the expectation is for the people that are voting for you, that they're expecting that honesty and they want that fortitude in ensuring that their issues are being heard and listened and then acted upon.
Yes.
The confidence, I think, is what people are looking for, right? The confidence in knowing that their representation is truly representing them.
That is true. And several people have said that to me. Are you going to do what you say you're going to do?
Right.
Are you going to be available like you said you're available? And I keep my word.
And is that what you want folks at home to take away? that you're going to keep your word for the people of your district.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
going to know who's in control,
Yes.
and that you are going to support Delawareans as a whole, regardless of party.
That's true. And even in my district, the 21st district, I have to work with people that they're both parties. And I told them, I said, it doesn't matter to me. If you call me and tell me you need something done, I'm not going to ask you which party you're from. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try to help you. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter to me.
Well, as you're knocking on these doors and you're going from house to house, and I know, again, you've knocked on a lot of doors, what has been that consensus? What is that thing that they're asking for, or things that you've seen that folks are really asking for?
Believe it or not, education.
That's it, huh?
That's the main thing. Even people who don't have children, they talk about their tax dollars being wasted. Mm-hmm. And people who have children, grandparents that are raising children, they're talking about they want their children to have a good education so that they can be self-supporting. And I actually met one lady, she heard me talking to someone next door. She stepped out and she was talking to me. She said, do you know, we have a daughter, mm-hmm. and we moved 3 times in 1 year trying to get her in a good school.
So the reason for their move was the education system and the lack thereof here in the state of Delaware.
Yes, 3 times in 1 year.
In our final moments here, what are some parting words you'd like to give to someone that's going to make that decision on Tuesday?
I need your vote. If you want to call me, you can call me. If you want to email me, get in touch with me, you can reach me at www.workingforun.de. Call me. I'm here for Pike Creek citizens, and I am here for Delawareans, period.
And so here we are, Delaware, facing an election season that's not just about red and blue. It's about a choice, a direction, a chance to decide who we are and who we want to be. Brenda Mennella represents a vision that might not look like the traditional Delaware path. And that's exactly why she's here. Agree or disagree, democracy depends on our ability to listen, to weigh ideas, and to look beyond what we've known and decide for ourselves. Tonight, I'm asking you to do more than just watch, think, engage, and be relentless in your pursuit of the truth. Because democracy isn't a spectator sport, and it's going to take all of us to make it work. So stay tuned, stay informed, stay questioning, and remember that the choices you make just don't define your future. They define Delaware's. Thank you for joining us tonight. On the agenda, be safe, be thoughtful, and keep pushing forward. See you next time.